Donald Trump has always been a polarizing figure in American politics, but recent events have pushed his erratic behavior into the spotlight. His latest rally in Pennsylvania was nothing short of chaotic, leaving many wondering about his mental state and political strategy. The former president, once hailed by his supporters as a strong leader, now seems to be unraveling in public view, delivering incoherent rants, obsessing over celebrities, and accusing political rivals of bizarre plots. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris is laser-focused on key issues like climate change, economic reform, and women's rights. This stark contrast between the two political figures is hard to ignore. Trump, drowning in conspiracy theories and self-pity, versus Harris, who remains committed to tackling the country's pressing issues. This video will dive deep into Trump's recent outbursts, his apparent fixation on the past, and the growing concerns around his mental fitness, while juxtaposing it against Harris's more level-headed approach to governance. Donald Trump's arrival in Pennsylvania was, as usual, met with great fanfare by himself. Performing his signature wave to an empty void, as he often does at his rallies, Trump arrived in the state with little fanfare from his audience and, once again, without Melania by his side. The former First Lady's absence from his public appearances continues to raise eyebrows. Is she distancing herself from her husband's increasingly erratic behavior, or are there deeper issues at play? As Trump took the stage, it became clear that this would not be a rally about policy or even his 2024 campaign. Instead, it became a spectacle of incoherence, with Trump struggling to form complete sentences and obsessing over personal grievances. His ramblings about Oprah Winfrey and other celebrities made headlines, but not for the reasons he might have hoped. The former president appeared fixated on those who, in his mind, have wronged him, rather than addressing the concerns of American voters. It's impossible to ignore Melania Trump's continued absence from her husband's side. Once a constant presence during his first presidential campaign, she has been conspicuously absent in recent months. Theories abound, with some speculating that she has distanced herself due to Trump's ongoing legal troubles and bizarre behavior. Others wonder if Melania's absence is a reflection of deeper personal issues within the Trump family. Whatever the reason, her lack of support at his rallies has become a talking point, raising questions about whether even those closest to Trump are losing faith in him. Nebraska scheme gone bust. A meltdown in real time. At the heart of Trump's latest spiral was his failed attempt to rig Nebraska's electoral map. In a desperate bid to secure more electoral votes for his potential 2024 run, Trump pushed for a change in the way Nebraska allocates its votes. Nebraska, like Maine, splits its electoral college votes by congressional district, a system Trump sought to overturn to his advantage. However, the plan hit a roadblock when State Senator Mike McDonnell, a key GOP figure, refused to support the change. McDonnell, who had been seen as crucial to Trump's efforts, explained that it was too close to the election to make such a drastic change. After deep consideration, it is clear to me that right now, 43 days from Election Day, is not the moment to make this change, McDonnell said. His refusal to play along with Trump's scheme sent the former president into a tailspin. Trump lashed out on his social media platform, Truth Social, accusing McDonnell of sabotaging the Republican Party's common sense victory. In a lengthy and incoherent post, Trump claimed that McDonnell was nothing more than a grandstander and lamented the failure of his plan to turn Nebraska into a winner-takes-all state. If Trump's Nebraska rant wasn't enough to make people question his grip on reality, his strange obsession with Oprah Winfrey certainly was. During his Pennsylvania rally, Trump went off on a tangent about Oprah, who he claimed used to be a friend until he entered politics. "She used to love me," he said wistfully, "but once I ran for politics, that was the end of that." Trump's fixation on celebrities didn't stop there. He also took aim at Jimmy Kimmel, whom he accused of being the worst host in the history of the Academy Awards. In typical Trump fashion, he personalized the criticism, making it about himself, rather than focusing on the larger picture. He was the worst host ever, and he read one of my truths at the Oscars, Trump complained, as if Kimmel's reading of his post was some form of personal attack. This obsession with Hollywood and celebrities shows a side of Trump that is more concerned with personal grudges than political leadership. His inability to move past these petty grievances is alarming, especially for someone vying for the presidency once again. Trump's war on military voting, a dangerous attack on democracy. One of Trump's more dangerous claims during this tirade was his attack on the Uniformed and Overseas Citizens Absentee Voting Act, UKAVA, a law that allows military members and their families to vote absentee while stationed overseas. In his speech, Trump accused Democrats of using UKAVA to commit voter fraud and disenfranchise military votes. Trump's rant was not only factually incorrect, but also a blatant attempt to undermine the integrity of the electoral system. He falsely claimed that the Democrats were getting ready to cheat by using this law to manipulate the vote. In reality, UKAVA has long been a bipartisan effort to ensure that military members, many of whom are stationed in conflict zones, can exercise their right to vote. By attacking this law, Trump is not just spreading misinformation, but actively working to disenfranchise the very people he claims to support our troops. A tale of two leaders, Kamala Harris's focus on real issues. While Trump was busy ranting about celebrities and election fraud, Vice President Kamala Harris was focused on the issues that actually affect Americans. Harris took to social media to highlight her plans to combat climate change, a crisis that Trump has famously called a hoax. Harris tweeted about the importance of building a clean energy economy, advancing environmental justice, and increasing resilience to climate disasters. Her focus on climate change stands in stark contrast to Trump's dismissal of the issue. As wildfires rage across the West Coast and hurricanes batter the Gulf, Harris's message resonates with voters who are increasingly concerned about the planet's future. Harris also addressed the economic struggles of working families, outlining her plan to lower costs and provide more opportunities for Americans to thrive. In contrast, Trump's speeches were more about airing personal grievances than offering solutions to the nation's problems. Trump's self-congratulatory stock market boast, a disconnect from reality. One of the most surreal moments from Trump's Pennsylvania rally came when he boasted about the stock market's high performance, claiming it was because people believed he would win the 2024 election. A lot of people say the only reason the stock market's high is everyone thinks I'm going to win the election, Trump said. However, this statement couldn't be further from the truth. While the stock market may be performing well, Trump's own media company, Trump Media and Technology Group, has been floundering. The stock, which is traded under the ticker symbol DWAC, has seen a significant drop in recent days, losing over 28% of its value in just 5 days. Trump's inability to see the disconnect between his personal failures and the larger economic picture is yet another sign of his growing detachment from reality. While he continues to boast about the stock market, the truth is that his own business ventures are struggling. Trump's fixation on Oprah Winfrey during the rally raises concerns about his mental health. His repeated mentions of her, coupled with his complaints about other celebrities like Jimmy Kimmel, suggest that Trump is more focused on settling personal scores than addressing the needs of the American people. Oprah, once a close friend of Trump's, has distanced herself from him since he entered politics. This rejection seems to have hit Trump hard, as he continues to bring her up in speeches, often with a tone of bitterness. His inability to let go of these personal grievances is troubling, especially for someone seeking the highest office in the land. The "send them back" chant, a dangerous dog whistle. Perhaps the most disturbing moment of Trump's Pennsylvania rally came when he encouraged his audience to chant, "Send them back," referring to legal immigrants in the town of Springfield, Ohio. Trump's comments, fueled by misinformation spread by him and J.D. Vance, stoked fear and hatred towards Haitian migrants who had settled in the area. These migrants had come to Springfield at the town's request, as the local economy was struggling, and they were in need of workers. Despite their contributions to the community, Trump painted them as a threat, encouraging his supporters to push for their removal. This kind of rhetoric is not only harmful, but dangerous. It taps into the worst aspects of xenophobia and racism, encouraging division and hatred in a country already grappling with these issues. Donald Trump's recent outbursts in Pennsylvania highlight the growing concerns around his fitness for office. His incoherent rants, bizarre fixations on celebrities, and dangerous attacks on democracy paint a picture of a man spiraling out of control. Meanwhile, Vice President Kamala Harris continues to focus on the real issues facing Americans, such as climate change, economic reform, and social justice. As we move closer to the 2024 election, it's clear that voters will have to choose between two very different visions for the future of America. One of division, chaos, and conspiracy theories, and one of progress, inclusivity, and real solutions. The contrast between Trump and Harris has never been starker, and the stakes for the country have never been higher.